You're watching Our Time. Natalia Sopit is here in the studio for you. And now, I'll tell you the main news at this hour. Today in Switzerland, delegations from Ukraine, the US, and Europe will discuss the American Peace Plan project. Vitaly Sizov, Freedom TV channel's special correspondent in Europe, is working in Geneva. He's joining us live. Welcome, Vitaly. We're looking forward to hearing the details from you.
Good morning. Here in the beautiful city of Geneva, at the United States diplomatic mission located in Switzerland, these important negotiations are set to take place, a significant meeting between the Ukrainian and American delegations. This week, Washington officially presented its comprehensive vision for a peaceful settlement, which consists of a detailed list of 28 specific points. This plan sparked mixed reactions. Some approved of it, while some members of Congress even spoke out against it. They criticized it, saying that the plan, in their view, does not sufficiently take Ukraine's perspective and interests into account. However, U.S. President Donald Trump, while speaking to journalists, confirmed that this is currently just a draft, essentially a preliminary project, and the interested parties, of course, can submit their own proposals or suggestions for consideration. And this is not something that is already set in stone or finalized at this stage. That's exactly why the Ukrainian delegation is gathering here at this important event. The American delegation will also be joined by representatives from several major European countries, namely Germany, France, the United Kingdom, as well as the European Union as a whole. We have received a comment from the President of the United States, who has explained in detail how he intends to work together with others on this important peace settlement proposal.
No, this is not my final proposal. We want to achieve peace. This should have happened, and honestly, it should have happened a long time ago. Russia's war with Ukraine should never have started in the first place. If I had been president, this situation would never have happened at all. We're currently trying to put an end to it. One way or another, we absolutely have to end it, no matter what.
Representatives of the Europeans, they are closely following this discussion. And quite naturally, this is primarily about the security and stability of Europe. Immediately after the official publication of this plan, there were several public statements from European leaders expressing their support for Ukraine. They stated that they are ready and willing to work with this plan, but of course, they also have their own proposals. In particular, there was a specific point in this published plan stating that aircraft would be based on the territory of Poland. And the Prime Minister of Poland, Donald Tusk, said that anything concerning Poland must be discussed with the Polish people and decided by Poland. The general concerns of Europe were clearly expressed and articulated by the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, on the issue at hand. We have his comment.
Ukraine, the US, and Europeans want peace, but we want a lasting and long-term peace. I think it's very good that the U.S. has proposed something to move toward a ceasefire and peace, and we should praise these efforts. But at the same time, the sovereignty of Ukraine and the security of Europe are at stake. It's only natural that both Ukrainians and Europeans are involved in the negotiations to finalize this plan.
Yesterday, a formal statement was officially published and released by the representatives of 12 different countries, as well as the European Union, specifically the European Commission of the Council of the European Union. In addition, it was not just European countries that were involved in this statement. It also included both Canada and Japan as participating nations. These countries, along with their respective leaders, are currently participating in the important G20 meeting, which is being held in South Africa. They discussed this plan among themselves, and for them, a very important principle is the inadmissibility of changing borders by force. They strongly emphasized this point, and they also officially approved the emergence of this plan. Additionally, they expressed their support for the initiative of the United States of America, but they made it very clear that this particular point is especially important to them, and it truly matters to them that there is no de facto recognition of the occupied territories or Russian territory. But we will see how the negotiations go, because, as I said, the document is quite extensive. There are a lot of questions and a significant number of comments. We are waiting for them to start, literally right here behind me, at the United States mission in Geneva. They are already expecting the arrival of the delegation. You could say it's high alert here. The security has opened the gates in any minute now. These negotiations, the delegations are supposed to arrive here and the talks are supposed to begin. Thank you.
Thank you, Vitaly. Let me remind our viewers that joining us from Switzerland was Vitaly Sizov, special correspondent for Freedom TV channel in Europe. In Geneva, today, U.S., European, and Ukrainian delegations have gathered to discuss the draft of the American peace plan. Donald Trump will ensure Ukraine's freedom and sovereignty, as well as its ability to defend itself in the event of any aggression. This was stated by Republican Senator Lindsey Graham. According to him, the whole world is now watching the peace process.
I am confident that President Trump, in his pursuit of peace and Russia's war against Ukraine, will push both sides forward. And in the end, he will make sure that Ukraine is a free, sovereign state with a strong ability to defend itself against any possible aggression. Too much has been sacrificed for any negotiations to lead to a different outcome. Lindsey Graham, U.S. Senator from the Republican Party, on social network X.
Any plan to end the war must first and foremost be accepted by Ukraine and approved by Ukraine as the victim of aggression. This was stated by Polish President Karol Nawrocki. According to him, proposals to end the war must take into account the fact that Russia is a state that does not honor agreements. And under no circumstances should the price of peace be the achievement of the aggressor's strategic goals.
It is Ukraine that has become the victim of Putin's criminal aggression. And it is Ukrainians, with the support of the United States and EU countries, who must have the decisive voice in peace negotiations. Any agreements concerning peace and security in Europe can only be reached with the participation of all interested parties. Karol Nawrocki, president of Poland, on the social network X. Russian attacks did not let up throughout the entire week. More than 1,000 attack drones, just as many. Aerial bombs and over 60 missiles of various types were launched by Russia at Ukraine. This was reported by President Volodymyr Zelenskyy. According to him, Kyiv is making every possible effort today to stop Russian aggression and achieve a lasting peace. Already today, our advisors will be working in Switzerland with representatives from the US, Germany, France, and the United Kingdom. But alongside the diplomatic track, it is necessary to do everything possible to strengthen our defense against such treacherous Russian strikes. It is very important to speed up the implementation of all our agreements with partners regarding air defense systems and missiles for them. I thank everyone who helps protect lives. Thank you to everyone who works for peace. Volodymyr Zelenskyy, President of Ukraine. On Telegram.
At least 15 people were injured and wounded as a result of a Russian drone attack in Dnipro. At night, it struck near a 9-story apartment building. Windows in the apartments were blown out. In 2 entrances, one apartment caught fire, and its owner was trapped inside. The woman is now in the hospital with burns. More on the aftermath of the night attack in the report by Natalia Husak.
This is what the 9-story apartment building looks like now in a quiet residential area of the city. Instead of windows, there are empty, charred openings in the walls from the 1st to the 9th floor. Residents say the explosion in the courtyard happened around midnight.
It blew everything out. We live on the 1st floor. Something flew in silently, completely silent. It fell, exploded, and the balconies caught fire. That's what we saw.
Hamra lives on the 9th floor. She says that after the explosion, a fire started on her balcony.
The balcony tilted and the windows were blown out. Some kind of metal thing also flew onto the balcony. That's why it caught fire. Or maybe when the explosion happened, a spark reached me. I ended up pouring out 4 buckets of water.
The apartment on the 2nd floor suffered the most. Its balcony was also engulfed in flames, and the owner ended up trapped inside the apartment. The blast wave warped the door, and the woman couldn't get out into the hallway on her own.
She couldn't get out. It was simply impossible to do it all by herself, and they couldn't open the doors for a long time. They were tightly jammed shut. So it was really, truly hard for me personally.
The owner of the apartment was taken to intensive care with burns. 2 more residents of the building are also in the hospital. By morning, 15 people had sought medical help, including an 11-year-old girl. Some had shrapnel wounds, smoke inhalation, or acute stress reactions. Many had injuries and cuts.
Our neighbors are very elderly. He's 89, she's 86.
Our neighbors are very old. He's 89, she's 86. Their windows face this way. All their windows are blown ahead. Something fell on Zoya Ivanovna, injuring her quorum. They live on the 5th floor, and they spent the night at home. They have nowhere else to go. One daughter is in Russia, the other is somewhere else, and they're here by themselves.
As a result of the night attack, just in the 9-story building, 200 windows were shattered. The neighboring buildings were also damaged. After the aftermath is dealt with, experts will inspect the buildings to make final conclusions about the extent of the damage.
Subscribe to The Gaze and stay updated on the most important events, top news from Ukraine and all over the world, in-depth analysis, exclusive reports and interviews, all on hand in our channel. Join our community of viewers and stay tuned.